It's been confirmed that for the Catch Zeig event in the exchange, this line here, the selection of unlimited items changes every week, means that this energy refund plus whatever this chest is, as new players and veterans have different ones, both won't be available after week 1 ends. Same with week 2, the items there will only be available for week 2, and for week 3, whatever the unlimited items are will only be available for week 3. The limited items will still be available for purchase, so you don't have to purchase these week 1. And then for week 4, we'll be stuck with these for the last week. So this is subject to change, I guess, if they decide to make the energy available. Maybe if people write hard enough on Stove. But let's assume that they won't. And let's talk about the best ways to spend your energy during this 6-week long event. So whether you're a new player or a veteran, you're going to want to spend as many leaves as possible during this first week. This is because of this energy refund here. If you're farming any stage that is over 10 energy, you're going to be getting about 1.66x value back in the form of energy refunds, which is insane value, even better than buff events. So it doesn't matter that we don't have a buff event right now. And of course, if we do have a buff event, you're going to get more value because there is the bonus from the buff events. And then if you are farming Eulogy of a Saint, which has a below 10 energy cost, but still has the 10 energy minimum drop rates, then you will be getting 2x value from your energy. So this is why it doesn't matter if you're a new player or a veteran, spend all of your leaves right now while week 1 is still available and buy out all of the energy. It's worth noting that we do have a buff event this weekend, runes, gear related stuff, and then 50% catalyst points, though it's still called AP in game for obvious reasons. And of course all buffs, but these all buffs will be in week 2. So this won't have the energy refund available, so you definitely want to do as much farming as you can during these first 3 days. Though like I said, even without the buffs up, it's still worth dumping all of your leaves. If you don't have a ton of leaves though, then you'd want to focus them during these 3 days. Of course, new players and veterans have different shops, so we're going to have different ways we want to spend our carrots after the first week. In the first weeks, everybody's dumping it into energy. But beyond this singular energy thing, we'll have different ways we want to spend our carrots. So let's talk about what both veterans and new players should do. Starting off with veterans because it's a little bit more complicated for them. So this sheet we'll be using to look at different levels of energy efficiency. This is all of the golden carrot items and all of the normal carrot items split up over week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. This is various drop rate things. This is the amount of carrots you would expect spending 1 energy. 20 carrots is the drop and 10 carrots is the drop. And this is how much energy you would expect to spend to get these items. And this is the special one for Eulogy, as it does have the slight boost in energy efficiency. So you can see all the numbers here. This is how much it would cost to clear shop. And this is how much it would cost to clear shop if you're using Eulogy. These are the numbers for the energy here. And then I have a couple of things that I deleted that I'll fill in a little bit. I don't remember the numbers for the catalysts, but nobody should need these if you're a veteran player, so we'll just skip them. The thing about the efficiency is that let's start off with normal carrots. For normal carrots, week 1, we are not buying any of these because we'll be spending everything in energy. Energy. And then for week 2 and week 3 and week 4, these will be the items that we have for the unlimited. Catalysts generally shouldn't be that big of a priority for veteran players. So this means that we're trying to spend as little bit of our carrots in week 4 as possible. This means that we'll be spending them in week 2 or week 3. I would say generally week 2 is better, but depending on your artifact charm inventory, you might need some artifact charms, so you could consider spending them here. Similar thing for the gambling chests. We're definitely not spending them week 1, but you could save them to use them in the charm or the Molagora chests in week 2 and week 3, or the reset stone chests. If you are spending them in the charm or mola chests, and also if you want to spend your carrots, or as many as you can, on the equipment and accessory chests, or the artifact chests, charms rather, these aren't chests, they're straight up charms. There's a couple things to consider, which is you'll have weeks 4, week 5, and week 6 to farm carrots and try to buy out all of the limited items. And the question is, can you feasibly clear out the shop? with just natural energy without spending leaves. And here is various energy levels. The bonuses, there's 200 we get every day from Catch Zeig, 40 from the shop, just the free pack, 40 from Friendship shop, 120 from Conquest Point shop, 50 from the little orb thing daily from your guild, 100 from Arky's check-in in your mail, and 100 energy from ads. Now these sources, maybe you won't have some of them, maybe you don't watch ads, maybe your guild doesn't buy the energy. This is just typically what people have. 154 energy is a full max limit of the stam. This assumes you log in once a day, burn all of your energy, and log off. This assumes you log in twice a day. This is twice the energy cap. And then 360 is no energy wastage. You always use every single last bit of stamina. This is how much energy you would expect to get per day with this plus this. And this is how much energy you would expect to have over 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or 5 weeks. 3 weeks meaning that you spend every last carrot on week 3 and you don't buy any items until week 4. 4 carrots meaning you blow it all week 2, and then you have weeks 3, 4, 5, and 6 to farm. And then 5 carrots is just you blow it all week 1, and then you have weeks 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to buy out the shop. So you can see that if you are trying to, well, we can take out some of these items because unless you're buying it for collection purposes, these right side pieces are definitely not useful, even with a little passive. Some people might not want these even, just because they're 78 gear. So you can see the energy expected that you would spend goes down by a lot. But maybe if you want to buy it all, then you would see it's about 26,000. So I will remove some of it. And you can still see that even if you don't buy any of the 78 gear, with 3 weeks worth of natural energy, unless we get a bunch of big energy events, it's not really feasible to buy out the entire shop with just 3 weeks of farming, unless you spend leaves or we get energy events. And then you can see it's pretty doable with 4 weeks. So if you're buying more of these 78 gears, then it becomes a little bit hard if you're not logging in and using your energy super efficiently. It's 26,000. You start cutting it kind of close, logging in twice a day. Then if you're doing it for 5 weeks, it's pretty free. Do note that it is subject to RNG, of course. The golden carrot drop rate is pretty low, so you might get super lucky, you might get unlucky. And then that's for golden carrots. For normal carrots, still, you do want to be a little bit careful. You want to save a little bit extra if you're doing it over 3 weeks, and you want to buy as many equipment and accessory charms as you can, and then buy out the artifact charms. For 4 weeks, it's pretty doable, even if you're only logging in once a day. You might need a little bit extra energy. And then if you're logging in more than once a day, then you should be fine for the normal carrots. Then, of course, if you're farming Eulogy, you're pretty much fine regardless. Unless you're like barely logging in, then it's not enough. But if you log in like twice, you're pretty much right there. Especially if we take out these items, you can see the required energy goes down pretty considerably. So this is just things for you to consider when you're trying to min-max your carrot usage. Like I said, week 1, we're definitely not buying any of these. And with 5 weeks, let's say, to clear out the shop, we've got more than enough. But we also don't want to be stuck spending tons of carrots on catalysts. So we're probably going to be buying out as many charms as we can. But we also want to make sure that we don't accidentally buy too many and not have enough carrots to actually clear out the shop. So then for the golden carrots, it's the same thing. It's just if you're trying to use the gambit chests, then you want to make sure that you actually save enough carrots that you can still clear out the shop without having to burn extra leaves. That's for veteran players. There's definitely a lot of thinking there just about how you want to maximize your energy usage and your carrot spending. New players, it doesn't really matter. New players have much cheaper items in the shop. They're like a third as cheap. You can see this is how much energy it would cost on average to clear out the entire shop. It's just 7,000. You easily clear that. I even put really reduced numbers for the stamina usage here. All my formulas broke, so I can't update this, but assuming you spend like 100 energy a day with all of the login sources, or all your daily extra energy sources, 100 energy a day still gets you like 15,000 energy. 200 energy a day for your nat stamina, is like 17,000, which is like, this is all like twice the amount of the shop, even if you're not farming Eulogy. So new players, you don't have to worry about your energy usage and efficiency. You can just wait until week 4 and then clear out the shop. So let's instead talk about what you should be doing with your carrots. Of course, week 1, we are not buying any of these. Every last carrot should be going into energy. Energy, energy, energy. And then you also probably want to be buying these, the Covenant Bookmark chests. There's a very good chance that you hit on the, well, not a very good chance, but you've got decent enough odds and enough attempts, hopefully, to hit on the jackpot for the Covenant Bookmarks. So the Covenant Bookmarks and the energy being in week 1 means that week 1 we are not buying anything except for those two. So we'll have at least 5 weeks, or at most 5 weeks, to buy out all of the other items. So let's take a look at the unlimited items for the rest of them. The Catalyst chest and the Molagora chest. I would say the Molagora chest or the Charm chest are probably more valuable than the Catalyst chest. If you need catalysts, there's catalysts in week 4 of the carrot one. And then for artifacts, if you need some artifact charms, you can buy them here. If you need equipment and accessory charms, you can buy them here. Since, like I said, with just 3 weeks of farming, you can easily full clear the shop. As long as you're spending every last carrot on energy and Cov bookmarks in the first week, your energy efficiency will be fine. Whatever you want to do, it's fine. New players, thanks to having the much reduced shop costs, have it much easier off than us. So this is just going over what you want to be doing with this event, because with the knowledge that the unlimited items won't be available for the entire event duration, there's a couple of min-maxing things for us to consider.